Hi, I'm Dan Leonard, still in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. Well, with all the bad news in the news these days, I thought it was time to get something a little bit lighter for here on EWABS. Our guests this week are two guys that are having a great time acting as our alter egos, I guess. Dave D'Andrea and Paul Hernandez, the voiceover pals, will give us the ultimate answers in personal voiceover studios and voice acting.
I'm going to have your questions. We got a lot of them coming in, so we'd love to answer them on the show. It's one of our favorite segments, and it is yours too. Send them in to ewabshop@gmail.com. And if you've got something for our news segment, send that in too.
Absolutely. What's in the news? Anyway, and in my tip of the week, we're going to talk about troubleshooting. You know, you could call us, but we'll give you a guide to make it a lot easier for yourselves. That's East-West Audio Body Shop, 9 o'clock in the East.
And 6 o'clock in the West.
And we'll see you in the chat room, and we'll see you there.
He is the home voiceover studio engineer to the stars in Los Angeles, California. A Virginia Tech grad whose knowledge of the latest recording gear is second to none. He's a voice actor and the home studio master. Hailing from Buffalo, New York, his home studio skills and knowledge of voiceover recording is unmatched. When Dan and George talk shop, people listen. And the talk continues tonight. Welcome to East-West Audio Body Shop.
This is Amy Fisher, coming to you from Glendale, California. Episode 174 is brought to you by Edge Studio, providers of voiceover education, production, and technology. Harlan Hogan's Voiceover Essentials, products hand-picked for voice actors. VoiceZam, a totally unreal demo player for voiceover professionals. The Home Studio Master. Get a handle on your personal voiceover studio. And VoiceOver Extra, your one-stop resource for voiceover success.
And now live from his high-tech facility in Santa Monica and his penthouse studio in Buffalo, here are George Whittam and Dan Leonard.
Good evening, I'm Dan Leonard in agony in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. Well, how's everybody doing tonight? I am in absolute agony tonight. Well, it's not that bad. As long as the ibuprofen pop, clicks in.
Oof.
Had to shovel an entire driveway, which was not mine. At least it isn't anymore. And the next day it was like, oh, there's a little twinge in my back. And later on it was like, oh, there's a big twinge in my back. Ooh. So if I stand up in the middle of the show and you hear a loud scream, that's what it's about.
I'll try to mute your mic before that happens.
Yes, I'll give you a warning. I'll just go.
Okay.
Like, ah!
You got it, man.
All righty. Well, we've got a great show for you tonight. The best you could possibly. We needed a few laughs. So right. We have some great guys on tonight. We have Pablo and Al, the voiceover pals, will be joining us a little bit later on and giving us the reality on voiceover studios and the voiceover business. No one knows more than these guys, so they say. We've got tip of the week. We also have our announcements. We actually have a Mugman cartoon at the end of the show, so stick around for that because this one's pretty funny as well. But we have to start off, of course, with
time now to take a look at the news. EWABS News.
And we're back.
Yes.
Sorry, I blew out your hearing.
Yes. Yeah. Now those hurt so much, the back doesn't feel so bad.
That was my idea. That was the idea.
All right.
There's actually for those of you who are involved with the Mixer Face Indiegogo campaign and dying to know when that Mixer Face is going to be showing up. Here's a little update if you hadn't seen it from the folks at Santrance, and probably Michael Goodman wrote this. He said, with all the interfaces on the market these days, you'd think it's easy to develop a new one. Well, maybe not. Centrance had to completely overhaul a Mixer Face to change the CPU, power system, infrastructure, peripheral systems, clocking systems, and interfacing. What that means is in order to accommodate all iPads and iPhones, yeah, blame it on Apple, of course.
Of course.
They had to change the computer that runs inside the unit. On top of that, they learned that one of the power switching parts was unreliable in production. Previously, this switch worked just fine, but on the trial run, which they built in mid-December, this same already proven part showed up as faulty and didn't meet spec, but only halfway. So it took them a while to understand how something can be half broken. It's a rare, elusive bug. They had to find a replacement design and get that into the circuit. They'll be testing the new board within a week, and the amount of redesign was quite grueling and expensive, but they are plowing ahead. So I know it sounds like the Apple excuse, but I can tell you after talking to a lot of manufacturers that make equipment that have to work with Apple, they create a lot of fiery hoops that you have to jump through. And sometimes they change the rules, well, whenever the hell they want. So it can be frustrating.
But they're Apple. They can do that.
Yeah, they're allowed to. They're 800-pound gorilla.
That is correct. Well, good luck with that. I know JS is just thrilled about that. Here's an interesting story. It's sent in by Liz Dineshnara. Engineers are sexier than musicians and songwriters.
Yes.
All right. A new study published in the Journal of Creative Behavior, something I read every day. Actually, I did actually have read that before. It pretty much replicates the age-old stereotypes about sexiness, at least according to college undergraduates. The jocks, rock stars, and artists still have way more sex appeal than the band kids and computer programmers. Bet you didn't realize that, did you? All right. A research team led by psychologist Scott Barry Kaufman of the University of Pennsylvania asked 815 undergraduates to rank different types of creativity by sex appeal. Responses were measured on a 5-point scale ranging from 1, sexually unattractive, to 5, sexually attractive. For both sexes, playing sports, taking a date on a spontaneous road trip, recording music, making a clever remark, performing in a band, taking artistic photographs, and dressing in a unique style made the top 10. In the bottom 10 were more technological or applied types of creativity, including the development of scientific experiment designs, talk about sexy, applying math in an original way to solve a practical program, exterior decorating, boy, the things I could say about that, making websites, entering projects or papers into a science contest, and making ad campaigns was in the bottom 10.
Surprise.
However, yes, researchers caution that individual differences in personality, interests, and creative achievement are important to take into account when considering sexual attractiveness. So gardeners and computer programmers, don't give up hope.
I'm just impressed that recording engineering is sexier than performing in a band. Yes! Yes! I feel so relieved to hear that.
Totally vindicated by your career choice there.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's is that it? Is that the
news?
That's it.
And that's a look at the EWABS news.
All right. Good.
All right.
Viewer mail. Do you want to take the first one? I don't know.
Let's see here. Yeah, sure. I'll take the first one because I actually know what this one's about.
Okay.
We got one from Michael Giorgio, who I believe is in Italy.
Nice.
Or he's back. Who knows? It's been a few years since I talked to him, but he recently bought a Scarlett 2i2 audio preamp and interface, and am now having some issues regarding adjusting mic gain levels that I've never had before with my M-Audio Avid preamp. Hey, even when I keep the gain fairly low, it still gives a clipping type sound. Not sure why this is happening since the M-Audio was literally just plug and play. Then why did you replace it? I use an AKG C414 XL2 mic. Nice microphone.
Yeah.
Any quick suggestions? I think the Scarlett had a great rounded sound on the whole, especially for more intimate reads. But anything at normal speaking volume tends to be a little like walking on eggshells. Thoughts? I read this stuff and it's like, it sounds like this, it does this. And I go, what are you listening to? digital audio is digital audio, and the way you hear it, most of the time, it's dependent on what you're listening to it on, not what you're listening to it through, because whatever is coming from the computer and out is pretty much what you put in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why you would be having that trouble. Now, if it's breaking up, usually that's an indication that there might be a bad connection. There might be dusty. Sometimes, if it's brand new, it shouldn't be doing that. Although I've been starting to hear things about 2i2s. I was talking to somebody today who said that, and he showed me using Pro Logic or Logic Pro or whatever they call it. I don't use it, so I can never remember if it's Logic Pro, Logic Pro, whatever. He would record, and then the waveform would show up, and then he would stop it and the waveform would disappear. The audio was still there.
Yosemite?
I think he was on Yosemite.
Oh, gee, what do you know?
But we changed the buffer from 256 to 512, and lo and behold, the waveform stayed there.
That's weird.
So it was a buffering issue. So it's like, well, should I get a new interface? I'm like, no. It's not the interface. So what goes on? Why would the M Audio be better than the 2i2? Well, I think it might be a matter of when those sorts of things happen. I say unplug everything, unboot everything, plug it back in, reboot. When in doubt, reboot, and really look at and give it another listen and see what happens.
He didn't say Mac or Windows.
He did well. If he was, let's see here. He did not say.
Nope. And there's a very important reason that needs to be divulged.
That's true. I forgot that.
There's always a level problem in Windows 7.
That's right.
Remember that whole thing where you have to tweak the gain setting in control panel, sound, recording, whatever the hell it is, like 5 levels.
Setting levels, yeah.
You have to set that gain level like really low, like 10 to 20%.
Depending on what you're using, yeah. So he may have it set too high.
Yeah, that might be it. Because it might be the old drivers were using ASIO or something else that weren't affected by that, and the new one doesn't. I almost guarantee I'll put $50 on it that he's using Windows and not a Mac. You heard it right there, folks. $50.
I remember you and I were sitting at tables at Voice 2010 of all places. And somebody came up with the same problem. They were saying it's really loud.
Yeah. And
you and I looked at it, and finally we discovered that it was, that's where the problem was.
It's not obvious. It just doesn't make sense. There's no rhyme or reason for it.
Right. But if you ask Mac or PC, that narrows down the problem very, very quickly.
Yeah, I don't seem to have that issue on a Mac, because when you're using that same device on the Mac disables the input gain control. So the slider in the Mac itself where you can set the volume is disabled. Right. On Windows, it's not. And I don't know why. Figure. So it's just a little weird thing.
Right.
So try that. Let us know. Hope that helps. I hope that fixes it.
We'll find out.
This next question, I think I got some. Did we cut off who it's from? I apologize. I think
it's from Efrain Gonzalez. Of Orlando, Florida.
Yes, Efrain. Thank you. This one he posted on Facebook someplace. I've always preferred using preamp units with SPDIF optical out, so digital outputs, into the interface. Now I've always been under the impression that taking that path allows me to use my preamp without getting coloration or other unwanted effects from using my interface's preamps on board, which in most units seems to be less than stellar. Then he says, the question is, let's get to the question. Am quickly. I correct? Or am I overthinking the whole SPDIF optical out thing? Reason I'm asking is because I'm really interested in starting a collection of 500 series preamps. Yeah, it's like collecting, microphones. But I've grown accustomed to going SPDIF and have second thoughts about the quality of audio I'm going to get out of these units going analog. And for those wondering what preamps I'm thinking about, the Red One, the Neve Portico 517, the API 512C, and or the Heritage Audio HA73JR. Thoughts? Well, the bottom line is when you're used to using a mic preamp with an optical or digital output, you're used to using the AD converter that's built into that mic preamp, okay? So if you want to get a whole slew of preamps and not run through 2 preamps, then you just need to invest in a really quality AD converter. There is one interesting device out there made by, and I can't remember, don't quote me on the model, I can't remember, but Aphex makes a 500 series rack with USB built in. So the AD converter is built into this little lunchbox that you slot your 500 series components into. So that might be a nice alternative for you. If you're going to start blowing the money on these 500 series units, you need a good 500 series lunchbox or power supply to put these things in. And the Aphex throws in a USB interface. So it eliminates that whole extra step. Otherwise, you're going to have to invest in invest in a quality AD converter that you can connect that whole mess to, in your computer. So there you have it. That's my thought.
Collecting preamps, those are awfully expensive things to try and collect. And really, they make really good coasters for, for your coffee and,
it can be fun. It can be fun. I mean, if you love audio gadgetry, and the good thing about them is they don't take up a lot of space. So you get the lunchbox or the thing that holds the rack, the 500 series rack, and it has so many prescribed slots in it. So it gives you these places to put them. The whole idea being that you can have a lot of preamps in a small space, and you're only paying for one power supply to power all of them. That's the whole idea with this 500 series thing. I think it was invented by API or something like that. But hey, you know what? People collect mics. People collect mic preamps, and it's fun if you don't let it get in the way of your voice acting. It's a cool diversion. If you got the money, go for it. Why not?
That's right. I mean, I collect ribbon mics, old antique ribbon mics and stuff like that. And I play around with them. Of course, with preamps,
it's more subtle from device to device.
It's a geeky thing as far as I'm concerned. People trying to play with different preamps and stuff like that to make themselves sound different or better. Got to remember that it may sound great to you, but you don't hire you.
Right.
So
I think about that. People tend to add too much distortion with these things. I'm not a fan of distortion. Some people like the distortion that you get from a Neve or whatever, that little bit of fuzziness or that crunchy sound, whatever. I'm not particularly a fan of that sound. But again, it's all subjective.
That's just you.
It's all subjective.
That's right. All righty. Well, we've got a lot more coming up. We've got Pablo and Al coming up in just a few minutes, and a tip of the week on troubleshooting. But first, we have to talk about our friends at VoiceZam. And if you have not tried VoiceZam, you have to do it. But I have to announce that the new talent search site that we have at World Voices Organization, which if you haven't joined, perhaps you should, because we've got a free-to-play search site there. And on that particular site is a really interesting demo player that everybody gets for free and to check out. And of course, you can get the more advanced version of it, and that is VoiceZam. And VoiceZam is a great little thing because you can put it on your website, and it's all automatic. You fill it out, all this information out on the VoiceZam page in their website, and you put the link into your website. And anytime you update the demo in their website, it automatically updates your demo wherever you have your demo and that link placed.
Yeah, I got it up right now on the screen so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
I got Dustin Eballs is sitting in there.
Yeah.
Once in a while, everything falls into perfect harmony. Just be sure you're in the right car.
Want to jump to the next part?
The 2000 Marvel's Iron Man 3, Armor Up.
Look how fast you can jump.
Meet Cheryl. She likes.
So what this does is it allows you to have someone can go and listen to the cut they want to listen to. If they're not doing an automotive spot, they don't have to listen to your automotive demo within your regular commercial spot. They can go, oh, it's a spot like this. Let me listen to this one.
Right.
And you can also have lots of different categories on there: commercial, e-learning, documentary, all those sorts of things. So it's an easy way to update your demo and make it look really, really professional. Plus, when you have the full subscription to it, you can use things like Straight Shot, where you can just send somebody a link and your demo is right there. It comes in an email and they can just pop it on right from there and they get your demo.
Yeah, it can be like part of your signature at the bottom of the email. There'll be buttons right there that open the demo immediately, right from the email.
That's right. And there's other things like Zamtistics. You can see who's been looking at your demo and how long they listened to it, all these sorts of things. So we suggest you go over to voicezam.com and check out what they have over there and what a great little demo tool they have. And tell them we sent you.
Yeah, there's an EWABS coupon code. So if you type in EWABS when you sign up, I think you get 10% off your membership or something sweet like that.
See the great things you get from watching this show?
That's right.
VoiceZam. We'll be right back after this, so don't go anywhere.
Whoa. I wasn't ready.
Well, there's a spot that's supposed to run there.
You caught me with my pants down, even though it's in the show notes. Holy smokes. Where's my speaking of pants down? Oh, there it is. My show got all out of arrangement. All right, here we go, everybody. The commercial you've all been waiting for.
VO Studio Tech. Recording made simple.
Hi, I'm Peter McHugh.
This is Jim Tasker from Los Angeles, California.
Hi, this is Bill Ratner in Los Angeles.
Hi, this is Scott Rummel here in Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, my name is Rick Wasserman.
Hi, this is Tom Kane.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Marshall.
Hi, my name is Zurich.
Hi, I'm Mary McKittrick.
Randy Thomas chiming in.
Hi, this is Joe Szymanski.
Hey, this is Rick Robles.
Hi, my name is John Patrick Armstrong.
I was turned on to George by none other than Don LaFontaine, who always swore by his help.
George is absolutely awesome.
ISDN, Source Connect, Phone Patch, FTP, you name it, George has set it up.
It's really the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel free, safe, fearless, like anything is possible in here.
Unless you like to look for opportunities to waste time, call George.
And he did all of that, long distance over the phone and the internet.
I'm very happy with George, and I cherish him.
Thanks, George. You make it easy.
Whence came these two radiant celestial brothers, united for an instant as they crossed the stratosphere of our starry window? One from the east and one from the west.
Very good.
Boy, and that got nominated for a bunch of stuff, too.
It did.
Actually, the critics totally panned it, and I went, well, it wasn't that bad. It was pretty funny. A lot of interesting little, cameo roles in there.
Yeah, this is an entertaining film.
Grand Budapest Hotel. Mm-hmm. Great movie. Anyway, what do we got going on here today? Well, we have a tip of the week coming up. One of the things that I'm you can see from the letters that we get here, it's like, I got a problem. I got a buzz. I got a hum. I got a this. I got a that. All sounding like Ricky Ricardo. So I have to explain to people how to fix these things. And there's a process to it. And I was taught how to do this in a logical fashion by somebody. And here's my tip of the week on troubleshooting.
Property to enterprise level. Exit.
Hello? Yeah? All right. Try, is it plugged in? Oh. Yeah, I get that a lot.
Troubleshooting voiceover recording chains isn't rocket science. Unless, of course, you're on the International Space Station. No, really, when things go wrong, there's a logical pattern to follow to find the problem. Remember, we call your recording system a recording chain. There's an order to how your voice gets on your computer and how it comes out again. First, your voice hits the diaphragm of your mic. The diaphragm vibrates from the sound waves hitting it, and that converts that to mechanical energy to analog electrical impulses. The microphone sends those impulses down your mic cable, all the way down to your digital interface. Inside your digital interface, it takes those electrical impulses and turns them into ones and zeros that your computer can understand. The ones and zeros then get sent down a USB cable to your computer, where they're routed to your recording software. Your recording software manipulates those ones and zeros to your liking, and then, when you hit playback, the entire system is reversed.
from your computer to your USB, back to your digital interface. It's taking those ones and zeros, converting them back into analog sound, which then sends them to your monitors or your headphones. Troubleshooting involves finding a weak link in the chain between each component and each individual link, which is one of the cables. And the same goes if you don't hear any playback. There's a connection between your computer, back to your digital interface, and then the connection to your speakers or headphones. Any one of those links or each one of those components could be where the problem is. Clearly, there's lots of things that can go wrong with individual components, but the first place to check is your connections. Check your microphone connections. Make sure that they're clean, make sure there's no dust, things along those lines. Take them apart, put them back together a few times. The next part of the chain is your digital interface, and there's lots of things you need to check there. You want to check your mic connection. Make sure your mic levels are set. The mic line switch is right. Most importantly, is your phantom power set on or off? And check to see that your output dials are set loud enough. In my experience, solid-state components rarely go bad, except cheap ones. If checking connections, cables, dials, and switches doesn't solve the problem, the next place to look is your OS and software. Go through the logical progression of input and preferences in your operating system. Look for audio levels. And if things aren't getting that far, something isn't set up right there, or the problem is somewhere earlier in the chain. Most of the time, it's a simple checkbox not marked because of some change in your system, like a software upgrade, prolonged downtime, or your OS decided it just didn't like your setting and changed it on its own. Clearly, there are other and more complex reasons your voice doesn't come in or out of your digital audio chain. But to find those faults, you have to follow the logical progressions in each direction. And that's my tip of the week.
Troubleshooting by my 9th grade shop teacher, Mr. Soman. This is a guy, well, of course, now as you think about it, he had his hair was shaven back and he had like a flat top. This was back when Gerald, I think Nixon was still president when this was going on. And he said, this is how you troubleshoot a lawnmower. You need spark, you need air, you need fuel, you need this, that, and the other thing. And if one of those things doesn't work, everything else down the line is not going to work either. So you just apply that to here. It's like this goes to here, that goes to there, that goes to there, and there you go. And that's how you troubleshoot.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Soman. He also wore a bow tie, which was actually kind of cool.
That's great. Bring back the bow tie.
Absolutely. Anyway, we've got a lot more coming up here on East West Audio Body Shop, and we've got Pablo and Al coming up in just a minute here. But first, we got to talk about another great friend of ours, and that's Harlan Hogan and his wonderful website where you can get anything you could possibly ever need for voiceover, and that's voiceoveressentials.com. And I'm wondering if he's got something new in there. I mean, there's always something new going on over there, but he's got lots of books. He's got all sorts of interesting contraptions, something that'll hold your headphones properly. He's got things that'll hold your microphone boom so it doesn't fall over, which I am actually using on here right now.
The ABS? You're using
the ABS, the apps, the mic boom jockstrap.
Yeah,
and it's that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, if you wore that as a jockstrap, you'd really be in big trouble. But he has them there. And if you have this problem with your microphone boom falling over, you might want to try one of those things. But over at his website, if you can just scroll through there, George, and show them, oh, you are doing that. He's got all these cool things like microphone mounts. And he's got, those. He keeps talking about the mixer face. Well, we've heard what's going on with the mixer face, but you can buy one from him. And when they finally figure it out, you can get one from voiceoveressentials.com and a few other things, mic stands. he can get anything you want, but you want his signature series stuff like the VO1A microphone and, of course, his signature series headphones.
He's got the RLX mopads too. So if you use studio monitors, you really shouldn't have them sitting directly on your desk because they will resonate with your desk. So these mopads will isolate your monitors.
Yeah, here, I'll even show you what that looks like. Here, I'll make you all dizzy here. But if you look at my monitors, you'll see that it also is a great place to put your iTunes gift cards. They slip right in there.
Yeah, check it out.
So they fit right under here, and your monitors stay nice and level.
And the other thing about them, they isolate, but they also allow you to adjust the angle of your studio monitors to the right angle so that your tweeters point at your ear holes. So
right there.
very, very handy to have.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, it's great. You just put your pens in there, you can keep your little quadricopter on top of it, all those sorts of things. Anyway, go over to voiceoveressentials.com. If you scroll down the page that you are watching this very show on EWABS.com, at the bottom there's a link with a picture of Harlan with his back to you, which is kind of odd because you can't hear him that way and he always wants you to hear him. If you click on that, it'll take you right there, and Harlan will know you came from us, and then he will say, boy, this is great. They came from EWABS. I think I'll sponsor them for another 174 episodes.
Very important to keep our sponsors happy, and that's the best way to do it.
That's right. So go on over there. VoiceOverEssentials.com. Thanks, Harlan.
Appreciate it.
All right, and we'll be right back after this.
You're listening to East West Audio Body Shop.
Are you confused about how to set up and maintain a professional quality voiceover studio? No wonder. The information out there is mostly mythology. This is the best microphone to use. You have to have a preamp. You need a soundproof booth. This software is the best. Your audio must be broadcast quality. Consult with someone who knows the truth. Someone who's been there, in the trenches, doing voiceover for over 30 years. Someone with unparalleled experience with voiceover studios, who's worked with hundreds of voice actors and designed hundreds of personal studios. He knows how to teach and cares about your success. In one of the harshest environments known to voiceover, your home. Dan Leonard, the Home Studio Master. Separate myth from fact and get a handle on your personal voiceover studio. Contact the Home Studio Master at homevoiceoverstudio.com. Drop off a specimen of your dry audio for a free analysis.
You're watching East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. They're nice guys, but every time I'm there, they never let me make water. So I'm going to go make water right now. I'm a grown man.
All right. And we're back here at East West Audio Body Shop, and I've been looking forward to this all week. Not that I don't look forward to doing this show every week, but I've especially been looking forward to this because we have some very, very special guests. One with extremely dark hair and one with not so dark hair. Anyway, joining us from some undisclosed locations in North America, we're not allowed to say exactly where they are Pablo and Al, the voiceover buddies. Maybe you've seen them on YouTube. Gentlemen, welcome to East West Audio Body Shop.
Hey, thank you.
Excellent camera work, by the way. I
appreciate that. I can't hear it too good.
Well, I can see your ear pretty well. So do you want me to yell into it so you can hear us a little bit better? Or
I got it a little bit now. It's coming in.
Okay, good.
So I say like
phone
this.
Call, right? Isn't this a phone call?
No. You're actually on camera there, Al.
It's on camera.
Yeah. You have to move back just a little bit. So there are lots of people watching you. There you go.
Oh,
all right.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Hello. I guess they see it, no?
Yeah, that's good. You're good. You're good.
All right. Oh, yeah.
All righty. Welcome to East West Audio Body Shop, and we've been looking forward to this. And why don't you first tell us, who are you guys? What's your background in voiceover? Pablo? Well, go, you take it whatever order you guys want to take.
I'm going to take it. You're going to take it.
Take one.
Voice of vowels.
Alphabetical order.
Pablo, go ahead, man.
Well, I like to say that we are basically professionals. We come from a long line of professionals. I've been doing this as long as I can remember. Now, there was the time I got in the accident. I had a little amnesia, but as long as I can remember, I have been doing this. So my credentials, how you put it, my credentials go a long time.
So you can't really remember when you started. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think I was very clear on what I said it.
Okay, I got it. All
right, on to you anyway. Al?
Yeah, well, as far as, how I started, I mean, I guess early voice work would have been when I was working the drive-through window at this diner. And I was getting a lot of credit, because I would always be able to, upsell, the product. They'd order a, chicken sandwich or something like that. And I'd say, if it was a girl, I'd kind of, talk sweet. It's like, hey, would you like some gravy with that? And if it was a guy, you kind of different attitude, it's just, hey, you want gravy with that, right? And so it was kind of this inherent knowledge I had of being able to, sell and upsell, and it just kind of took off from there,
Yeah, you can put the sweet onto the guy like you could put it onto the woman's.
Right.
Well, I suppose today you could, but it's a whole different thing.
That's true. It's a subtlety. It's a subtle thing in the read.
Yeah.
Especially as you're reading a menu, it's kind of important.
Right.
So how did you guys get together and start thinking about voiceover together?
Well, it's a funny thing. They got this thing out there called Tweeted. You seen that Tweeted? It's a big hashtag, whatever. Anyway, they put it on there, and I said, hey, if I'm going to be putting my name out there, say, who's going to know Pablo? I got to get on the Tweeted. So I started to tweet it out there, got all kinds of people to follow. And then this guy comes to me by the name of Al, and he said, hey, why don't you call me sometime? And so I go like that to him, and I pick up the phone. I said, I don't even have his phone number. How am I going to call you? So I found his phone number on the internet, and then I called and said, hey, yeah, what do you want? And he said, I didn't want you. Why are you calling me? I said, what are you talking about? You put it on the Twitter right there. Fuck it, call me on the internet, no? And he said, no. I was posting a comment on there. You misunderstood. Ha, ha, ha. And now we're good friends. And then he said he's a voiceover guy. I say I'm a voiceover guy. I said, hey, we got to do something. Right?
Makes total sense.
It does. I wouldn't kid about a sin like that.
Yeah, it was just a little misunderstanding is all it was. I mean,
okay.
He was referring to me in a formal manner, and so I replied and I said, just call me Al. You don't have to be all formal with it. But he thought I said, just call me, period, Al. Like I was signing off with Al. So he called me, and I didn't need to talk to you. But
wasn't that a Paul Simon song? You can just call me Al.
You can call me Al. That's right.
That's right. You guys know his music.
Important to know.
It is.
Yeah. So why did you feel it was so important to share your vast knowledge of the voiceover business? Because I watch your videos and I'm enthralled with the depth of the knowledge that you pass out there. What motivated you to do that?
Well, thanks for that acknowledgement and so forth. Mostly it wasn't this desire to share our vast knowledge. It was mostly just, I don't know, getting, really sick and tired of people asking us questions all the time.
Sounds familiar, huh, George?
Yeah. So,
same thing.
Everywhere we go, hey, how do I become a millionaire voice actor? How do I do? And so we thought, we could just, waste our days away, answering these questions one by one. Or I'll tell you what, let's just, do a little YouTube channel here. Let's just kind of do a preemptive strike, if you will, and just sort of answer the questions if we can. And since we're on Twitter already, we figure, okay, they can ask us questions on Twitter. That'll keep them short so they won't be going blathering on and on, And they can just ask us questions, and then, maybe we could try to answer instead of answering one person at a time, answer everybody at one time. And we, could have a life, basically.
Yeah, you got to have the life. If you don't got the life, what you got?
I think you guys have the life. That's what I think.
Yeah, really.
It is.
It's a good life.
It is. Thank you very much.
It's a wonderful life.
which was a great film too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Every time a bell rings, no?
That's right.
Every time a bell rings, a voice actor gets
his
microphone.
Wings. Yeah, that's something like that.
Yeah, I still waiting on the microphone, but whatever.
It'll be there eventually. What about you, Pablo? What do you find important about imparting knowledge to people?
Well, for me, to be honest, I don't care. But if a lot of people do what they call the philanthropy, no, right? Where you got to do something and pay it forward and all that stuff. So I figure, well, you can't beat it, you got to join him. So I figure, why not give to somebody what somebody gave to me? My father always said, you got to do what I tell you or I'm getting the big belt. And so I pass that on to everybody.
Yeah. Fortunately, I think there's vaccinations for all that, though, which might help passing some of that stuff on. Now, I noticed you guys are in a very, both of you are in very, very fine studio settings there. I can even see your on-air studio there, Al. It's the sign there.
Yeah.
So why does a garage make such a great home studio?
Al, you want me to take these?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll start off but with the acoustics. I mean, because you got rakes and stuff back here. Because anybody who designs a studio, George and Dan, you guys know that you don't just want just flat walls. You want stuff to kind of break up, the wave patterns and all that. So
diffusion, it's sort
of whatever you say. Yeah, so we got all this crowd, sitting around here. It diffuses everything, and we just did a video about the acoustics.
Yeah, let me show everybody the kind of work you guys do, because it's really good stuff. Hang on, here's a little bit of that video right here.
Don, I think you're good. It looks like it.
All right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's on. Hey, how you doing? It's Pablo and Al, your voiceover pals.
I'm Pablo.
I'm Al, and we're here to teach you to just
voice it.
Trademark. So we field questions from folks on Twitter and on the comments section here on YouTube. Thanks for the comments there.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, and we're just trying to to help you guys, because a lot of people come up to us and they ask us all kinds of questions about how do I become a millionaire voiceover? How do I become famous? How do I improve my golf swing? They ask us all kinds of stuff, and so we try to answer those questions. So we got a question here from somebody.
Yeah. So this one here. I can put these glasses on again. Again, if you're gonna do voiceover, sometimes you gotta have the glasses.
You gotta see the words. That's a big part of it.
It's what they call preparation.
Yeah,
okay?
Free tip again.
So you got here Johnny from Tukwila, and this is in Washington, for those you don't know. She said, how do you deal with acoustics? Because I see you guys what look like in a garage.
This,
it's a big question.
And it's a pet peeve of mine, because it's a big conspiracy. These companies, they sell you foam. That stuff you get for free in packages, you order stuff for Christmas or a birthday or a funeral or whatever.
Always comes to you.
Yeah, and they're packing peanuts, or they got whatever they got. And they got these companies out there trying to sell you that to improve the sound in your space.
Who did that?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and some people use egg crates. And it's ridiculous.
It's a waste of money.
It is a waste of money. We do all our voiceover work right here in the garage, and it's perfect. It's wide open space. Some people, they worry about the echo. You can check the echo by clapping.
Hey, you heard that?
Yeah.
You hear it?
See, and maybe there's a little bit of echo, but we found a way. If you want to cut down on the echo and the noise without spending a lot of money, it's real simple. Show them what we do.
Okay.
You hear that?
I didn't hear a thing. Nothing came through.
All right. So don't waste your money on a bunch of acoustics and all that garbage. It's a big conspiracy. These companies, maybe they think, we've been giving it away for free all this time in the packaging. No more. We want to make some money. I say no.
No.
Right?
You give it the finger, it's all taken care of, you save the money.
Give it the finger. All right.
There you go. Exactly. You give it the finger.
Give it the finger. Always with the finger.
Always with the finger.
That's right. I find the acoustics in your place just amazing. If you imagine what you can save on reverb if you just use the right acoustics. You can do this at the local cathedral, and it would be even better.
Nothing sounds like a garage.
That's right.
No, that's a true fact.
That's what's great about this voiceover biz. You can do it anywhere, really. I mean, just you don't have to have any fancy studio, nothing. You just do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
All this time, and listen, not discredit to you guys or anything. I got this friend, Paul Hernandez, said, look, I hired this guy, George Whiting, and he put together the studio for me. He told me how to put all the sound and put all the foam. I said, man, why are you going to pay all that money when you can just give it the finger? Like that, you don't need to spend it like that.
I know.
No disrespect to you. I understand, Hollywood and all that stuff. But I'm just telling you from the heart,
I get it.
What we have found to be true.
They got to make a living.
It's expensive. I get it. We're expensive.
It's true. It's true. But I'm sure you've got some knowledge on what you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I trust him too. For the most part.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, of course, now he's got this little thing going on just below his lip, which kind of makes him kind of, a little more California-like. But anyway, what's the most important thing, according to what you guys think, what's the most important thing you have to do before you start in voiceover?
That's a good question. Before you started into the voiceover, you can't just get up one day and say, hey, I'm going to start it in the voiceover, right? And you can't do that with nothing.
You'd be surprised how many people think that, though, and actually do, which is even more scary.
That's an actual fact. But I told myself, look, I got a good voice. I can do this. I know how to read stuff. But I can't sit here and do it from my bed. So if I'm going to get professional, I got to move to the garage and do something to step it up, And once you step it up and you make the commitment to get out of the bedroom and into the garage, now you're headed someplace.
That's true. And you can pick up the paper while you're out there, too.
Hey, it's easy to do. I could go like this right now. Oh, she must have picked it up already. Never mind. Okay, but that's as easy as it can be done.
Yeah. Al, what do you think?
Well, I would say it really begins with a belief, in your heart and your head. Because let me put it this way: if anybody has ever come up to you and said, "Hey, I think you've got a great voice. I think you should do voiceover or something like that," I would say run with that, man. I would say just go for it, because if one person thinks so, probably a billion people think so, and you could be making money instead of whatever you're doing. If somebody thinks that you've got a good voice, I say I would probably just quit your job. I would just pour everything I had into doing that.
Really?
Commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, what? Speaking of commitment, although it sounded like equipment, what equipment do you need that everybody else says? Like George and I, we're always recommending stuff that people should try, and it'll make them sound best. What do you guys think is the equipment that you need that everybody else says is worthless?
Well, I'd say probably, as far on the worthless side of the scale, probably, 95% of what you guys have been talking about so far in the show, I would say you don't need any of that, really. No offense to the sponsors, or anything like that. But I'd say, for us, we do it with a video camera, or if you're out, a portable cassette player works great if you're at the park.
Oh, I got one of those.
Yeah. And that's really all you need. I mean, they talk about these fancy mics and stuff like that, but I mean, this has got, there's a mic. I don't know if you can see that. There's a mic built in right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it says mic right there. So, I mean, those would be the essentials, I guess, if
you want to spend a little more money, does it make a little bit of difference on? I don't know. To me, you could spend something and get something like this. Okay? Because with this, you have the two components with 2 cassettes, so you can record 2 different things. And then you get yourself a good quality microphone, like this one here. It's got a switch with on and off on it.
That's important.
And
Absolutely.
it plugs right into that little hole that's in right there. And you put it in. But like Al said it, you could do that in the park with the one he got.
That's true. Why bother with that extra microphone? And that thing is heavy when you can have that little portable one. Keep it in your glove box.
It's a workout to bring it with you.
Right.
On stamps, you need stamps because you probably have to mail stuff to people.
Yeah, you have to mail tapes to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tapes, I guess. You probably need to.
Yeah. There's a lot of those old cassette mailers that are still sitting around over at Target and Walmart and stuff. You can just throw them in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Try stamps.com. All righty. Now there's a lot of people teaching stuff in the business. Now, George and I talk a little bit about technology, but there's a lot of people who are coaching out there, and they are, they're everywhere. Who do you think are some of the people you should pay attention to in voiceover circles?
You got a lot of people out there. Al and I even went to this guy. I don't know, you heard of Pat Frelly? You heard that guy?
Yeah. Yep.
You know who that is?
I know him.
He's a nice guy, I go to him, you got to pay $500, and he tell me all this stuff, but he know, right? I went to my cousin Jose Antonio. He didn't charge me nothing.
Right.
And he gave me food on top of it.
Yeah, that's true. Because I don't think Pat gives you food.
Yeah, no, Pat does. Usually pizza or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And not disrespect to him, okay? But if I'm going to pay that kind of monies, I'm going to go with family and get a Cuban meal on top of it,
Yeah, you want huevos rancheros and a good Cuban
arroz con
sandwich.
pollo, frijoles negro,
See.
Absolutely.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so you'll be surprised what kind of information you will get from family, even though they seem like they don't know nothing.
Well, they're the ones that told you had a great voice to start with, so you might as well listen to them. And they were right about that.
Exactly.
He's dead on, because you're right. I mean, there are tons of people out there, but yeah, you go to anything that you can do where you don't have to spend money to do it. That's money in your pocket right there. You could go to, what's that gal's name? She looks like that. What's her name? Nancy something or other. Wolfson. Nancy Wolfson, right? If I want somebody, if I want some broad to, cuss and yell at me for a couple of days, I'll call my sister. All right. I don't need to go see Wolfson to do that. No disrespect to Nancy Wolfson.
No, none intended.
She's a queen among, queens, but, yeah, I mean, but my sister, I call her up and and she'll tell me what she thinks,
Hey, I can go on any street corner. Anybody can get to cuss to me.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, our audience has many questions. They are fascinated by what you have said. They are glued to their computer screens on your every word. So let's go to a couple of questions.
I got to read this first one, man.
Yeah, actually, I have a question before you get there.
Go ahead, Al.
Sorry, Al.
When do we get paid for this interview here?
It's in the mail.
Yeah, it's in the mail.
All right. Okay.
You guys signed
we
the.
We have to put a stamp on the envelope and stuff.
All right.
I got stamps around here somewhere. Okay. This first one comes in from Ricardo Javier Montalban de Los Angeles Hernandez de Ortega.
I like that.
Yeah. And he says, and this
Good
is
luck with
I'm
this.
doing my best possible. I'm trying to give full respect to the language here when I read this. Listen. Everything you guys say is so smart. Can you give it the finger technique for sound treatment?
Yeah. See, now this is finally a guy that I can understand. Okay? We talked about it a minute ago, but once again, I simplify it because I know you guys got a lot of things you got to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So to keep it short, that's a free tip. To keep it short, here's it is. To make acoustic, save the money, give it the finger. So if you got like this, you heard that?
Yeah.
It's like got a lot of sound. Some people say, hey, man, you got the room, is what they call it, vivo, live. It's live, right? And so how you cut that out? I go like this. I don't hear none of that no more. And I just record it.
Makes
so
total
there you
sense.
go. There you
Total
go,
sense.
And there's a follow-up. He says, do you guys offer private coaching?
Yeah, my cousin has a food coach on the in LA, but sometimes if he comes up, I can see if I can have him cook something for you if that's what you wanted.
Thank you. I'm sure Ricardo is very appreciative of that complete answer.
Yep.
Okay,
Bill,
sure.
yes.
No problem.
No problem. Private coaching.
Yeah.
Who would have thought food truck? But, you know. Newbie Girl asks, do they coach and make the demos? Well, we asked if you do the coach, but do you do the demos?
Well, no, because and you can watch our YouTube video. We have it broken down quite easily on how to make a great demo, whether you want a long demo or you just want, you know, they say, I don't know if it's true, but they say, you know, most people who listen to your demo, they only listen to like the first 10 seconds. So we even have a tip on how to just make a 10-second demo that'll, you know, knock people's socks off. So again, our whole goal here in offering advice is to save time and not do it a bunch. So we don't do really anything private or individual demos because that's just more, you know, time that we don't want to spend.
Yeah. Would anyone trust themselves in, you know, working with you privately in your garage anyway?
But we did give you a little quick tip on that, which Al tells you sometimes whatever you put on the background for the demo is just put a Phil Collins. That works for everything.
Everybody, it's pretty. You Google. I don't know. 99% of people in the world love Phil Collins. So you get this association. If you got a little Phil Collins in the background on your demo, then whoever's hearing that, they say, "Oh, I like Phil Collins. I like this person I'm listening to." It's just it's
right. Well, it's important to have his stuff in your studio anyway.
Yeah,
very important.
That's
very,
right.
Very important. Bill, go ahead. Oh, thank you. Bill Russell asks, how do you guys feel about portable recording? What do you guys recommend for that sort of thing?
Oh, I think I think they answered that, man.
Yeah,
Dan, we don't want to waste.
Oh, yeah, there's the cassette player.
These guys, their time is valuable. We don't want to waste their time making them
I got to make $1 million later.
Yeah.
That's right.
And no offense to you, Mr. Russell.
Exactly. Pay attention.
That's what I mean. We get the same questions over and over. That's why we're doing the video.
That's why you put the video, Fuakata. You put it on the internet, everybody, and it's done.
Go watch the freaking video.
That's right.
That's what I do. I post my links to my videos all over the place. I don't want to have to.
And they keep asking you questions.
I don't want to type it over and over again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Somehow we've been doing that for 174 episodes, though.
Yeah.
Beth Windsor Stewart asks, and I can't wait to hear this one. Do you guys have any advice about negotiating rates?
Al, I think you're the king of negotiating.
Well, let me get the device that I use. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is good because everybody got a different technique, right?
Yeah.
Al comes from a very a strong background. And I think his technique is unsurpassed by anybody.
I learned this actually for those of you who are film fans from the film Star Wars. Maybe you've heard of the Star Wars series. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
I got it on
space
TiVo.
there. The device I use, it's this here. It's a thermal detonator.
Oh.
And so I just click that on. And then when they come up with the rate that I want, then I shut it down. That's it.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
And sometimes when that doesn't get it the way you want it, part of the reason we do it in an atmosphere like this is I open up the saw as I'm trying to do the negotiation. And some people say it costs an arm and a leg, but
literally with
if
that.
you or me, I don't want an arm and a leg in that. Do you?
Well, maybe just a finger or something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you do with the finger.
That's another thing you could do. Yeah. You could point to the YouTube video también.
All right, your turn.
Yeah, I mean that saw would work really well if you're negotiating in person. That would definitely get the point across. Another one from
I don't use it first, but
okay. Yeah. Doug's question is what do the VO pals think is the best microphone for voiceover?
No, don't ask that.
Does it really matter? Does it really matter? What do you
tell you?
You
we get the same questions over and over again.
Over and over.
So do we. It out again. Right there, Mike, built in.
Yeah.
You want to get really fancy? I showed you this before, right? Here you go. You got this, and you buy the upgrade, which has the on and the off switch.
At least you guys are consistent.
$9.
Your answers are always consistent. We always know what we're going to get from you guys, and that's why I love working with you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And it's priceless information.
You can't put a price on it.
Tremaine Kendrick Mosley.
We have put a price on it, and you said it's in the mail, right?
Right, exactly.
Right, yes.
All right.
Tremaine says, ask them if they record in the booth together, and how fun is it? Is it fun to record in the booth together?
Yeah, it is.
Especially because it's a garage.
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of room.
Right.
And it is fun. Unlike what you got here is you got one location. Alice got another location. You can't do that together until you get into the same place. So when I come to visit him, and then we say, hey, you want to record something together, you go into the same place and get this. You can even use the same microphone. That's it. I'm through.
Drop the mic, as they say, right? You drop the mic. Tremaine also asks, and I know you guys love this question. You get it all the time. Do you guys offer private coaching?
Why don't you get a life, Tremaine? This question already. We don't do. I mean, he told you about the coaching and the demos. I mean, come on.
Sorry about that.
Same questions over and over. See, this is.
You could get your own coach and cook your own food at the same time. Why you got to come to me?
Dan, do you have any new questions from anybody?
We do, but I figure we'll take a break and we'll come back because I can't wait to hear their answers because the announcer has a couple of more great questions for them. Okay. So why don't we take a quick break here and tell them about Vox, and we'll be right back.
All right, you got it.
VoiceOver Extra, the voiceover industry's online news, education, and resource center 24/7. Hundreds, probably thousands of free how-to articles for voiceover success, ranging from home studio to voice acting to business. A free voiceover industry directory, calendar of industry events, resource links, a store, and much more. Bi-monthly webinars on all topics of voiceover, free subscriptions to newsletters, reports, announcements, daily news, and features at voiceoverextra.com.
Dad?
Yeah, honey?
When you watch East West Audio Body Shop, why do you keep hitting your forehead?
And why do you keep yelling WTF?
And what does WTF even mean?
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Yeah, that's what it means.
I think you made that up.
Girls, just go do your homework. Right now I'm watching George and Dan on EWABS.
Okay.
All right, and we're back with Pablo and Al, the voiceover pals, giving us millions of dollars worth of advice here. I mean, there's the $1 million read, but this is the $1 million everything. Everything you could possibly want to know about voiceover happens in their garage.
This whole segment is now an EWABS Essentials. This whole thing.
The entire thing.
We just take this whole piece and we put it out as Essentials.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah, we try to keep those to 3 to 5 minutes. Not necessary with this. This is just
it's all right here.
Magnificent. All right. The announcer or unannouncer has two very, very important questions for you. What do the voiceover pals think about the P2P sites like Voices.com and Voice123?
Well, Al, do you care if I take it?
Please.
Okay. First of all, no offense to you, Mr. Unannouncer, but are you announcing or you're not announcing? You got to tell people. You got to be clear, right? Yeah. So just a little tip for you, no charge.
Freebie.
And then personally for me, P or not to P, it's a private matter. everybody got to, everybody got to do it. So it's up to you. I mean, for me personally, it's got to be inside.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in the backwoods,
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, but yeah. Okay. What do you think about the Voices.com and Voice 123, Al?
Well, we're trying to make money. And so just from the inherent fact and so forth that, you have to pay to play, that's people pay us. We don't pay them. So I say no.
No. Okay.
It don't take money to make money.
It just doesn't make good
Isn't
business
that the old
sense.
saying?
Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Good to know.
Got it.
Shelley asks, have you guys been across the pond? Do you love to be over there?
Across the pond?
That's what she asked. Across the pond.
Do you guys have a pond?
I don't got a pond. You got a pond out?
No.
No, I got no pond.
No, okay.
I do.
I tell you what, though, we have been a lot of different places. And
Yeah.
I have something special because this is another free tip for you.
Do it.
A lot of times when you go somewhere, whether it's a club or a funeral or wherever you're going to go, there's bound to be people there that you want to impress, right? Make a good impression on. And so you guys have probably heard the term name dropper. Have you heard that before?
Yep.
All right, we originated that, but people are doing that all wrong. Now, I don't know how they took it to where it is now, but see, I always keep in hand here. Anytime I'm at a place where I figure there's going to be people I need to impress, I got cards here with the names and phone numbers of impressive people that I know. And so I will accidentally drop these cards on the ground. Hence, name dropper.
Oh, okay.
And anybody with a brain will look down and they'll see, I got names like, I don't know if you can read that.
Della Reese.
Della Reese, right.
Where'd you get her phone number?
You see George, he's a good,
Stephanopoulos, yeah.
There's this guy here, you probably know him.
Bruce, Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just drop these names down and people look and suddenly they're impressed. They want to know, how I got to know these people. So if you're going to be a name dropper, I suggest that you do it, the right way, because then, people want to know you. They want to work with you. You drop a name like this on them, boom. They want to know everything there is to know about you.
Yeah. Interesting that all their numbers start with 555 too. I didn't realize they all lived in the same neighborhood.
Well, see, thing is that people don't really look at the numbers. They're so blown away by the names,
Right.
that they don't even look. If you're out of state, there's this guy. So that's just a little bonus, free tip talking about traveling. I don't know about the pond or what you was talking about, but as far as going places, meeting people, that's free tip.
That's important.
That's the way you gotta drop the name.
You guys,
please, with the door already.
Are you going to share the pizza with us?
I'm so sorry. I'm doing a show in this place. Get the door.
Okay. It's okay. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Might just be Girl Scout cookies. They're coming around this time of year too.
That's not too bad. I like the cookies.
Yeah. Speaking of cookies, Kevin Schuller asks, what's a good diet for voiceover?
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about it. I find, so what if I'm 30, 40 pounds overweight? I feel like I can do the voice okay that way.
More support to your diaphragm there.
Well, and you put, you go on the diet and then you're like, oh, I don't feel so good. And then you talk like this, oh, I can't, I'm reading the voiceover. I try to put excitement on it.
Yes.
And it doesn't come off, So I say, pig out, eat what you want.
Yeah. A lot of the times, for the work that we do, they want a meaty sound. They want a heavy sound to it, and you can't get that, weighing 90 pounds. You gotta beef up a little.
Yeah. So no celery, no carrots, things like that. It's strictly meat and potatoes type of stuff.
Well, get all the dairy you want, have all the lattes, eggs, cheese, eat all that right before you get the microphone. So what?
Yeah, it helps.
It thickens up the voice, right?
It does.
Like when you have a lot of cheese, the voice gets thicker.
And sometimes you get that, what you call it, the flens. So if you're trying to get some sort of an accent on it, it comes out and it adds to the situation.
That's true.
Beth Windsor Stewart says, "What type of footwear is the best to wear when recording? Does it? Do you have
I always wondered about that.
Yeah. Do you guys have specific footwear that you use?
Beth, that's a stupid question.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll tell it like it is.
All right. Stupid question.
It really doesn't. It doesn't matter. I guess it could help a little bit. If you got shiny shoes and you want a little bit of a reflective sound coming up from the floor, you could, polish them up a little bit.
Oh.
Apart from that, it whatever is, comfortable.
Yeah. Of course, if you ask Penny Absher, she'll say, well, bunny slippers.
Right. Of course.
But that would help, diffuse the sound a little bit at least.
It would.
Especially if you've got big feet. I don't know what Penny's feet look like, but, But
maybe she needs a big bunny. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
All right. Dave Smith asks, and this is a highly technical question, so you guys should know this one. What kind of a filter or gate do you need to cover the saw sounds that you have back there, Pablo?
Oh, that sometimes I use it if you want to put like a scary sound to what you said, right? So you leave it. You leave it like that, and it gets the zzz, and people go, whoa, it's the Freddy Coogie in this place. But if you don't want that, okay, this is the one time you save a little money, okay? You get yourself some high quality scene like this. I think I got it at Goodwill.
It must smell wonderful.
You put it like that. Hello, it's gone.
Easy peasy. See, always fix it at the source.
Absolutely.
You do it in software.
If you happen to be out and about, this is one little trick. In fact, somebody was just asking me this on Twitter the other day, about a pop filter of some kind. We happen to have some that are on the go all the time. Boom, pop filter. The hat. You use it, you can't hear what I'm saying, right?
Let's give it the Peter Piper pick the pickle pepper. See if that works with that.
Right. All right. What was that again?
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
A peck?
Peter Piper.
These guys are professionals. They don't repeat. You got to write it in a script that they can print out.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
It works perfectly.
Done.
Proof.
This is another easy pop filter. Okay.
Yeah.
It's right there. I've been drinking it the whole time, right?
Done.
Petey Pikey, Picky Pecky, whatever. Look, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Really? No, and actually, you can use that for a little bit of an echo chamber too.
Right.
If you talk right into it, and the more you drink, it'll change your tone just a little.
It changes all the time, like that. Yes.
Bill's got a good question. Since the garage is the best place to record, what's the limits on shovels that you need for room treatment? Do you need like 10 shovels, or just like 3 or 4 shovels?
Well, it depends. There's all different kinds of shovels. You can't. You got Dan out there in Buffalo. With those big snow shovels. That counts.
Got lots of them.
2 or 3 regular shovels. So
That's true.
There's a lot of variables and so forth.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going to have a shovel in the booth next week.
Yeah,
it's very, very important.
Yeah, it really depends on if you want a big sound or a little sound, big shovel, little shovel.
Right.
Oh,
well, you need a little bit of reflection. You can't have it totally dead in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, something you got to get the right tool so you can chop it.
Yeah. You might just need a trowel. There's all kinds of things you could have.
That's true.
Yeah. I've got that. Yeah, we could use that. I have an entrenchment tool. That would probably work really, really well.
Be perfect.
And especially if you're in a war zone, always helpful.
Right. Yeah. Karen's got a good question, Dan.
Yeah.
This is a serious question now.
Yeah. How do you guys keep your voice in shape?
That's a good point. I think what you said, Al?
Go ahead.
For me, some people, okay, you know how you're going to work it out, right? And you're going to you do push-up or you do something with the weights. How you going to do that with the voice? Were you going to do push-up like this? No, you're going to choke it out. But if you want to strengthen it, sometimes what you can do is what I like to call the lip up. Okay? So you take like this, you get your mouth ready. Okay?
I'm watching.
1, 2, 3. Okay. It's a strengthening this bottom muscle.
Yeah.
To the lip. Let's say you got a soft muscle on the top. You do the same thing, but you have to reverse it. This one's a little bit harder, where you go 1, 2. Put the two together. For me, it's like a warm up, unless it's cold outside. But you can still warm it up.
But let me give that one a shot there. All right, 1, 2. Oh, I feel better. I feel stronger already. Yeah, it makes my back feel better too.
It covers all kinds of sins.
It definitely covers all sorts of sins. All righty. We got one more question for you guys here.
Yeah. Two more. You do one, I'll do one.
Okay. All right. Bill Russell asks, boxers or briefs in the studio?
That is a good question.
I figured you might think that.
Unlike the other one, Bill. Hello. For me, it's really a mood thing. Right now, I'm not going to show you because I got the brief. But there are some days, it's a boxer day. Especially, let's say, Al come over here sometime. He does this big, what do you call it? The boxing ring announcer guy. I'm in this corner. Al can do it better than me, no? But if you're going to do that kind of thing, you got to have the boxers on. Because that comes with the whole thing. You know? Right? Even that beat that you do with in this corner, I'll show it.
Well, I don't have the proper wear on right now to do that.
Well, just imagine you do.
So in this corner, you got, what's this guy, George Whiting.
And in this corner, weighing in at, how much you weigh, George?
137 pounds.
Yeah.
He's a writer from Southern California, George Whittle. Like that.
Got it.
It would be better if I had the boxes. Though.
Yeah, I think that's what's what's missing in there.
Yeah.
All right. We don't want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
We know you guys don't. We don't want to tie you up too much longer. You guys have too much to do, and I think if we go over in 2 more minutes, we're gonna have to send you another check. So
yeah,
let me wrap this up.
I'm okay with that.
Let me wrap this up with this one. Beth Windsor Stewart asks, "Are children's books worth recording? Do you bother?"
Sure. I say yeah. I mean, if the book people are paying, yeah, it's worth recording.
That's what I figured you'd say, Pablo.
Well, I think it depends on which children is reading it, because sometimes the kid is too little, and excuse me, I'm sorry, going to accuse me, but I can understand what the kid said. So it depends on what kid is reading it.
Okay,
that's true. Yeah, especially if it's in English. Well, gentlemen, it has been an absolutely. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. If people want to see your videos, what's the best way for them to get a hold of them and get all of this dynamic wisdom into their brains?
Well, I'd say the easiest way, you just go on there to YouTube and you can type in, the search for Voiceover Pals. I think we're the only ones on there. And we got a handful of videos, and we'll upload more as necessity requires. And you could follow us, ask questions on Twitter if you want to, at Voiceover Pals. It's just that simple.
Outstanding.
So is that a good way? Is that a good way to ask you guys questions? Is Voiceover Pals on the Twitter?
Yeah, that'd be because again, it's you're limited to characters, so that helps us because then you can't just go on and on, asking.
The short questions.
Yeah,
duly
you
noted.
have like 30 characters or so.
Yeah,
duly noted.
especially if the guy's a real character.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We have here the voiceover pals, Pablo and Al, joining us from some undisclosed location.
Thanks.
Thanks for being with us.
Just voice it.
Boss, voice it.
Okay, very good. All righty. Well, we don't have another commercial here, so I guess we'll try and wrap things up.
We'll do our best.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we've got, it's time for the, you can actually throw that in there now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're going to do announcements.
Just sit back and relax. It's time for some announcements.
And now, back to East West Audio Body Shop, where every week it's Apollo 13.
You just proved it.
Sorry about that, Dan.
That's okay. That's fine. Every week it is Apollo 13. Next Monday night, January 26th. You don't want to miss it because we've got a great gal that's going to be on here. She knows her stuff and she knows a lot about voice-over casting. Mary Lynn Wistner will be with us next week. And she's got some great tips on how to get better voiceover. You thought that Pablo and Al had the answers. She really has the answers, and she will light our show on fire next week, especially since these guys doused it pretty good this week. February 2nd, we've been waiting to do this one. We've got an audiobook roundtable because we've got Jeff Kafer and David Wilson, publisher of Crossroads Press. And maybe Amy will join us since she knows a little bit about the
narrator help, narratorhelper.com. Yeah.
That's
I
right.
Hope so yeah, she's been off the radar a little bit lately, photographing half-naked yoga men in Hawaii.
Wow,
it's her side thing that she does.
Yeah, very nice.
Right.
Well, she'll come back nice and tan, and
we'll check with her.
All right. Well, hopefully she'll be back by then. February 9th. This ought to be interesting. Something I know a lot about: broadcast narration with Thomas Pinto. So. We're getting ahead in our bookings. We know who's going to be on now. None of this. Who's on next week? Okay.
Thanks
Thomas
to
Pinto
Catherine.
on February 9th. Yes.
Yeah, thanks to Catherine.
Who are some of our donors this week?
Well, we've had an amazing barrage of donations, like we do pretty much every week. Eric Aragoni, period. Just Eric Aragoni. Suzanne Chaudhary, Elizabeth Stewart, Andrew Kaufman, Karen Cunningham, and Philip Sapir, and Bill Russell. Are all some of our latest donations. Thank you very, very, very much.
Right. Also, for those of you who use alcohol, I can't even get up to get over and get it. I can't. I was like, I'm going to stand up, but I've been sitting on this thing for the last hour and a half, and it's like, okay, I can't even get up.
You're screwed.
I just get up really slow.
Okay.
And alcohol won't help. But for those of you who use alcohol, Alkalol, ALKALOL. Amazon is having a huge sale on it today. 16 ounces for $5.99. Go get it. Thank you, Karen O'Brien Cunningham, for telling us about that. Just mix it like 15 to 1, 20 to 1. It's fabulous. You don't drink it, though. You spit it out.
That's right. Don't drink that stuff. Narratorhelper.com. She helps out, by making sure that I can not starve. That's part of that's
her job.
Part of what Amy does. But
she buys the food and she cooks the food.
The other time she's proofing audiobooks and taking pictures of yoga guys. So she's got a lot of very important jobs and being a mom. But narratorhelper.com is one of her best services, and check it out if you're doing audiobooks.
Yeah. And of course, if you missed the show tonight, again, how do you know you're missing it? Because you're not watching it. But if you happen to miss an episode, all of them are on YouTube, and we love you to go over there and catch up. I know there's people I've been talking to who are like, I'm on episode 75. I'm like, you got a lot to do.
A lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like catching up in the entire series of Dexter. You get to go back a couple of seasons. So
we also have those show logs. I'm sorry, I cut you off. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/EWABS show.
EWABS show with two S's.
In the middle. The show logs that Jack DeGolia does are available on the website on EWABS.com. Right above or right near the logo, I think it's over on the right side actually. Yep. You'll see the show logs. So if you want to review notes from other shows, they're all time indexed even. You can click on a time and it jumps right to that point in the video. It's really, really handy. The podcast, Stitcher Radio, it's on Stitcher, it's on iTunes, it's on Podbean. You can always find it also on ewabs.com naturally. And, like us and stuff. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
Do it several times.
Subscribe and like videos. Let everybody know that video was actually worth your time. So
that's right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Yes. And of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Harlan Hogan, Voiceover Extra, Edge Studio, and VoiceAm, providing an uninterrupted live stream and bandwidth, which was very important tonight because it was flawless tonight.
I'd say it was pretty close to flawless for our shows.
Darn near, except when you stepped on me. But that's besides
except for that.
Yes. We'd like to thank, of course, our wives who got their thank you gifts this week. And the wife at this end really appreciated it, as did I, especially since she's gluten-free and I got to eat some of it. Huh. And also Kathy Curran, our wonderful producer who finds wonderful guests like Pablo and Al, Shelly Avellino for helping out in the chat room tonight, and Anthony for starting out helping out in the chat room, but he had to leave. Tim McKean for working on EWABS Essentials. I hear those are starting to pile up.
Yeah, we are starting to get a flow of them. He must have found some time to help us out, which we really, really appreciate. Thanks, Tim.
So, check that out. Jack DeGolia for doing a fabulous job with the show notes, and Lee Penny for making sure that podcast gets out there, because lots of people like to listen to us in their car.
That's right. And while mowing the lawn.
That's
right.
And
while sawing in the wood in the garage.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Last week we showed a Mugman cartoon, and my son Jacob has come up with another one. Yeah, somebody was watching this last week, and they're like, I don't know what I'm watching, but I like it. So we figured we'd show you the next episode of Mugman. We've shown the first two. This is the third one coming up. In the meantime, and then we'll go into our after show. But to end things up, I'm Dan Leonard, still in the East.
And I'm George Woodham in the West.
And together we are East West Audio Body Shop. Have a good night, everybody. Stay tuned for some Mugman, and we'll be back with our after show. So, good night.
Sitting under the plum tree on a nice summer day. Boy, everyone seems to have a pet today. You know, I've never really had a pet before. Seems pretty fun. Hey, Johnny!
Hey, what do you want from me?
Where'd you get that duck?
At the pet store.
I'm getting a pet. I should probably tell Tiana first, though.
The game's on.
Hey, Tiana, I'm going to the pet store to get a pet.
Sure, go for it.
Hi, I'd like to get a pet.
Take a look around.
Hi, puppy. Hi, kitty. Hamster? A fish? You know, I kind of like what is this thing?
That's a cassowary.
I like him. He's cute.
Really? Just take him then.
Wait, he's free?
Yeah, we got him from the Cassowary Rescue Society.
You mean they rescued him?
Well, not exactly.
Well, guess I'll take him.
Hey, Murray, we finally got rid of that thing.
25-yard line. There's the count.
Mugman, you're breathing on me.
There's the snap. And steps back.
Mugman, that's really weird. Cut it out.
To the outside, and it's dropped there. It's about 25-yard line.
Man?
Hi, Tiana.
Mugman? What is this thing?
Oh, this is sunshine.
Wait. Don't tell me this is your new pet.
You bet he is. They gave him to me for free.
I don't blame them.
Say hi to him.
Hi?
That's the first time I've ever seen Tiana scared of anything. Sunshine, we don't hiss at family. No, this behavior can't continue for much longer. I need to train you. Go get it. Sit. Play dead. No, don't make Tiana play it. Heel. Very funny. Stand. Ah! Roll over. What? Sunshine, where are you going? Sit. Stand. Play dead. Looks like I found an incentive.
Ow! What is this?